Take the boy and go hide in the loft.
I'm here to collect Mr. Hawthorne's rent! Shut that! Please! Before I get you open the Christ almighty! Johnny Fletcher busted into a farmhouse property.
You bring me back that stuff false.
Well, look what we have here. Please don't kill me.
Gentleman John Fletcher! Damn it!
Johnny Fletcher! Don't make me chase you!
I didn't kill nobody. I didn't murder that family.
That don't break me down to me. You're a bounty hunter. You're a wanted man. Here.
Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds, and shall find me, unafraid. It matters not how straight the gates, how charged the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Stand down and no one has to die today.
This only ends one way.
They'll kill you all.
Why not take your chances in a prison cell?
Alright, I'm coming out.
My lord, I have a report.
Speak.
Our latest assassination attempt on Lady Nocturne has failed.
I can see stronger measures are needed. Begin phase 2.
Captured! The notorious Lady Nocturne has been brought in through the valiant efforts of the Void Cobras.
Get on the damn bird.
Prisoner, take 5 steps, then stop and turn your right.
But the pirates of Velix Mortis are far from defeated.
My lord, I have a report.
Let's cut to the chase, since we both know that this isn't a social call and you didn't come here to waste time.
Fine. High Command is gambling that the attempt on your life by your so-called friends has made you willing to cooperate. Am I wasting my time now?
What fate will befall the disgraced former pirate?
The Minotaur sends his regards, traitor.
What does your High Command want, and what are they offering in return?
High Command wants many things, but it wants to show a good faith first.
Go.
up. Bravo 2, give us support.
What next for now infamous mercenaries, the Void Cobras?
I want every last pirate I used to run with dead. I don't want to be watching over my shoulder every hour of every day.
Now you die!
Will the Void Cobras become targets of Lady Nocturne's former pirate comrades?
Attention, crash override. This is Freighter Ebony Hawk. My ship just lost all power and thrust. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
There truly is no honor among thieves. You rabble will turn on each other at the slightest provocation.
Okay, Fudge, moving past you.
Find out on the next episode of Star Citizen Nocturne.
Jameson, you copy?
Touch me now, I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you.
Jameson, we require immediate emergency extract.
I don't know, man. It looks kind of hot over there.
Of interest in my life to idiots.
Okay, got it working, Sarge.
Alright, Corporal. Good work. Follow me! Y'all remember what Sarge said? Stay together, keep comms clear, and heads on the swivel. Clear. Okay, we're gonna secure it, then sweep the entire ship for survivors. Channel, you take point. Doc, you're behind me. Corporal, you're bringing up the rear.
Understood, Sergeant.
Taking track. Oh shit, I just saw something. God, oh my God!
Let's get the hell out of here!
Get him off me, get him off me, get him off me! They're getting in my armor! Ah!
I got into collecting bounties when a gang of bandits bushwhacked my wife, my best friend Coyote, and me. Meet the Jones brothers.
To take a look at the situation in which you find yourself.
That's Joshua.
Can have real bad.
What's the Indian word for
Next to him is Rufus the Doofus.
Heck, I don't know.
You're just trying to make me look dumb.
All right, I want to
Next
see
to
rifles
him is
on the
Lyman.
ground.
Remember those faces.
And 6.
You'll see him again.
8 hands praising Jesus.
The other ones, well, ain't no use in introducing. They're all dead.
Run!
Obadiah, get the saddlebags!
I got him!
I later discovered the Jones brothers were all wanted men. Figured I might as well get paid for taking my revenge.
Man, we still wanted for justice.
Post is still on the wall?
So I hunted down the ones we didn't kill. Lyman, he sang like a bird. Rufus and Joshua were smuggling contraband down the river. Always to the same spot. I found a nice perch on a bluff above the river where I knew they would eventually be. During the war, I was a sharpshooter. Coyote's Whitworth came in handy. For weeks, I tracked them. Then I killed them.
If you like our content, we'd appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, and get notifications. Help us extend our reach by sharing our video content. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm, also leave us a comment on some of our videos. Yes, sir.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello, hello. I think it's just going to be you and me tonight. I don't think anybody else from the admin team is going to be on tonight. So
I was watching a little bit of the last night's episode with Steve. That was really good.
Yeah, I had a good time with that. I'm a big
He's
fan
actually
of
coming
Steve.
to my town in like 2 weeks. So
Oh, snap. There you go.
I know, right?
So do you go by Elyon or do you go by
So so I've got my legal name, which is Samuel Smeltzer. That'll be on the ballot. But I also go by Elyon Badger because it's kind of there's three things at play here. Number one, Elyon has been my online username since I was 17, and I came up with it because I wanted something that was unique. And I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings. So 15 years ago, little did I know, right? So I think if you're kind of like nobody trying to run for office, you're going to need some uniqueness about you. Number two, it's actually directly related to MAGA. My father voted for Trump 3 times and worked for the United States Department of Agriculture for 30 years. And, the absolute irony of a guy that built, a legendary wetland. It took him 10 years to build, and he's, all for drill baby drill. And just, it's the brain rot that is MAGA. So the last time I talked to him a few years ago down in Florida, we were at a family get together, and I told him, hey, I'd like to get into politics for healthcare. And he looked me dead in the eye and he goes, if you ever even think about getting into politics, you better change your name because I never want to be associated with you again. And I was like, damn, you don't even know I'm gay. That's what I get for voting Democrat. Fuck. So
whole lot to unpack there.
I know it's a lot. So hey, my therapist is great. I love it. He's fantastic. But that's also something where hey, wouldn't that be a great little fuck you to all of us that have had family that voted MAGA? And number 3 is if I've already got the online presence and people start searching the name Elyon, then they go right to my content. And altogether, just on TikTok alone, I've got 18 million views with just my big videos. I haven't even added up the small ones. And a lot of those are about policy, just healthcare, workers' rights. One of my videos I'm most proud of, I just broke down minimum wage very angrily because anger is, that's why Badger, right? Honey Badger, full of anger. So, when I broke down minimum wage, it was because I do IT contracting in my day job. And I've been doing it for so long that I can work very efficiently. So I can work part-time and still get by. And that's what gives me the free ability to run for Congress as somebody that's basically nobody. Now, with no money and no connections, trying to run for a district that's going to, from what everyone tells me, $2 to $5 million to win. It's like, bruh, what the fuck? Everyone says they want to get money out of politics, but apparently you need $5 million to win in politics. So make that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, so if I don't have money and I don't have connections, I need to use cleverness and the internet. Now, one of the things I've got going for me is being part of the furry community, and that's where my whole outfit comes in. You know, I don't know how much the audience here knows about the furry community, but it's a very tight-knit group of people, to say the least. There's a lot of them out there, and if you want to think about it, it's kind of like having your own personal mascot, right? So, you know how your high school has your own mascot? Well, you know, if you want to feel so inclined, you can make your own personal mascot, and so mine is the honey badger, and it kind of represents my tenacity and my hard-headedness to metaphorically fight a lion just for the sake of fighting a lion because you're bored. And so, you know, as a tiny little 40-pound land mammal fighting a 600-pound killing machine like a lion, I think that tenacity is something that the Democratic Party needs, because what inspired me to run was Tom Barrett himself, that blockhead voting for the big bad bill. The amount of damage that is going to do to the rural communities that I've serviced over the years, it just lights a fire in me that's like the white hot intensity of 10,000 combined stars. Just that anger that I feel, that how fucking dare you? You know, you served this country for 24 years as a helicopter pilot, and you get into Congress and the first thing you do is vote for Medicare and Medicaid work requirements. What the was that helmet strapped on too tight, my friend? Did you fly too high and suffer from hypoxia? Like, you know, I fly fighter jets in VR, so I'm really good at the F-16 and DCS world. So I used to live stream that a lot, and when I was flying, I would tally up the cost of the fuel and the missiles on stream. Just one jet. You know, we don't got money for healthcare. Fuck you, we don't. That's some bullshit. So my number one priority is healthcare. Bernie Sanders started this fight, and I want more soldiers in it, because every small act of resistance means more than people understand.
Yeah. So you are Michigan's 7th district. What areas does that encompass?
So that includes the city of Lansing. It goes down to Holt, up to St. John's, out to Charlotte, out to Howell, almost to Brighton kind of, and up to Owasso. So it's a big district. And the great thing is being an IT contractor, I've serviced a lot of these small businesses in all of these small communities over the past 8 years. So I hope they remember me.
All right. So I'm looking at your website here.
Oh, yeah, website review. So this is something I want to start getting around to the podcast people, is start doing website review for progressives.
You know, I am not yet at a point where I want to start, you know, like going onto a website and looking at it and being like, what's up with this? Or why don't you have
no, you just have to be you have to be clever with it and fun. So like, you know, I know mine's different.
Yours is a picture of, I'm not sure what to make of this. I'm fine with the furry headpiece. I don't want anybody on here that watches this later or is watching now to get in the comments and try to kink shame anybody, because we're not about that life here. And that includes
that's
furries.
And that's kind of like the thing with the furry community is there's nobody in Congress fighting for them, and the Heritage Foundation has promised to target us. So
the thing that gets me about your website that I find the most eye-catching is, what was that? It was like an infomercial with a guy who was dressed like the Riddler.
Question mark suit guy.
Matthew Lesko. He very high energy guy. He gave off this sort of,
let me get you free money from the government.
He was like come running down the stairs, shaking his hands. He's wearing the suit. That's what your suit kind of reminds me of, but like if Snoop Dogg were wearing it, because it's literally
It's taken me 3
marijuana
years to
leaves.
put that together.
And
So,
it's phenomenal. Like you,
thank you.
you've
I really
got-
appreciate it.
And it's got a giant top hat. So
I made that.
I don't know.
Also, your camera's glitching out there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know
Those are
what's
weird.
going. Let's see. Let's restart this thing. See what's going on with it.
Yeah, so the top hat I made when right after I met my spouse Marcus. They're actually at a support group meeting tonight. Queer support groups. I try to attend as many of those as I can, but tonight this is a little bit more important than everyone in at the basement that we all love. So go North Grayling. Hey, so Mitchell, I'm actually from Wolverine, Michigan. So I came down to Lansing 13 years ago, and I can't leave. I love it here. Yes, I do. I'm going to go to the Uncle John Cider Mill event that they have in, I think, 3 weeks. So I've got that on my schedule. I'm reading the YouTube comments, so I got those up.
That's fine.
Hey, man, comments are your biggest supporters.
Absolutely. So your platform, just listing what's on the website: universal healthcare in the drug war, high-speed rail, end corruption, technology bill of rights, and cancel student debt.
I actually just made this pamphlet earlier today. Same exact thing. Little trifold.
The thing that stands out on this, like everybody on the left, pretty much everyone, there's probably like 1 or 2 people that are like, no, I don't want universal healthcare. War on drugs, everybody's like, okay. High-speed rail, though, like I have never, ever, ever seen or heard a candidate endorse that or list that or anything. You are the first.
You ready to cook with some gas? Because I've got autism. All right, first and foremost, but I got the math and science autism, and apparently the comedy stuff too. Because I like to tell dad jokes, but only sometimes he laughs. So that's why we don't talk. Back to the hyperstate project, though. Right now, the hardest problem with high-speed rail is eminent domain. How do you take land from people? Ain't nobody want to give up my land. It's my land. I want top dollar for my land, especially if the government wants it, right? So how do you not take land from people but still give them rail? Well, you use your existing infrastructure. So our highway grid sitting there connects every city. It's all eminent domain. We even got the rideshare lots. Why don't we have elevated high-speed rail going in the center lane divider? Now, the way this would work, calling it the hyperstate project, it would cost $1.4 trillion to construct every corner of the country. It would make jobs like you wouldn't believe, because the way it works is you have concrete pillars and your construction crew goes down the center lane, digs a really big hole, puts a concrete pillar in, and the prefab steel rail concrete segment goes on top. And it's designed for double structural integrity, so you can knock out a pillar and it would still stand with a train on top. They're not big trains. They're small, high-speed trains for passengers. The goal with this project, cars off of the road, reduce our oil consumption, and get people safe passage, because, as we've seen, airplanes aren't the safest when Boeing is making them. And the secondary feature of a high-speed rail network is you can't steer a train into a skyscraper. Therefore, we've prevented all future 9/11s. You can thank me later. Now, the secondary thing with the hyperstate project, every year in operation, it would reduce auto accidents by around $40 billion. And that's from insurances, lost life claims, disability, because people get disabled from auto accidents. Another secondary effect, if we put solar panels on the sides of these elevated concrete segments, then you would generate 82 terawatts of electricity per year on solar panels alone. Now, breaking it up even further, we're going to start in Michigan. From Detroit, branch out in 4 different directions. Branching west towards Chicago, branching east towards Toronto, branching south towards Washington, D.C., New York, that whole area, and then branching even further south, basically straight to Florida. And by starting out at every city, once we go full scale, start small scale, do a proof of concept, right? That's how everything works. You have to do small scale proof of concept, show that this will work, and then boom, do it nationwide. If we start making concrete pouring jobs and construction jobs in every corner of the country, like I said, it would cost $1.4 to $2 trillion to construct. The return on investment would be 4.5 years. It would add 15% to our GDP, would reduce our carbon emissions by astronomical amounts, and would save over 1 trillion gallons of gas over 10 years. So the Hyperstate project would be a nationalized project, and we could retire Amtrak. Now, if we get all of that, the billionaire class gets a reward. Okay? Because we can't get anything without the billionaires. It sucks. I hate it. Fucking.
What if they're all dead?
We don't have enough Luigis, so we'll set that topic aside. Luigi only has one life in this game. So, that being said, if the billionaire class gets on board and we get the Hyperstate project, I want to issue out super licenses. Yes, I understand that big oil and airlines will never let it happen, which is why we need to let big airlines construct the high-speed rail cars. See, they don't have to give up making airplanes. It's just a tube that goes fast. So instead of putting jet engines on it, put wheels on it. The fuck? You're just barely repurposing your already existing infrastructure. You can still make planes. Make trains too. Is there anything wrong with that? I think that'd be a great way to like fight the plane lobby is don't fight the plane lobby. Incentivize the plane lobby. Say, hey guys, you can make trains and planes. We're not canceling air. We're just adding trains. So let's see. I'm going through some of the comments here. Maybe we better off hoping for teleportation. Yeah, that's a beam me up, Scotty. Right. But yeah, the Hyperstate project did save a lot of lives and save a lot of road construction. It'd save $300 billion every year with road construction. And then once it's all done, now, once we get enough cars off the road, enough people on trains, we can issue super licenses. What's a super license? Special plate, special driver's license. So if you have a super car and you're a rich person, you can drive super fast, conditions permitting. We can have the American Autobahn. So, quid pro quo, Clarice, if we're trapped in this house of madness and you're the psychopath holding us hostage, can we at least get high-speed rail and then you can drive your car as fast as you want without getting in trouble? Can we make this work, please? Right? Does that sound reasonable, or am I crazy? I mean, I'm a furry running for Congress, so it's pretty fucking crazy.
I think it's a good idea. Like, I don't know why we don't. I mean, I know why we don't have it, but I don't know why we don't have this already. So you mentioned
word out.
You mentioned that you have the TISM, and yours is like math oriented. What math might you have done with regards to canceling student debt, if any?
Somebody just messaged me. Look at you autistically talking about trades. Yeah, appreciate that.
Hey,
so student loan debt shouldn't exist in the first place. Higher education is an investment into a country. The fact that we've saddled generations of people with the burden of the ability to do more, but you have to work 3 times harder to pay off the interest on that cost of education is the most insidious and backwards thing that our country has ever done. I think the smartest thing we could ever do right now is pump every dollar we can into free higher education, which higher education doesn't just mean college, it means trade school too. We need young people that need good paying jobs. All right. Now, doing contracting, I'm on construction sites. So I talk to the plumbers, I talk to the electricians, I talk to the concrete guys, I talk to the drywallers, I talk to everyone. I'm a political degenerate. I can't help it. You deserve higher wages and more free time with your family. How much are you getting paid? Like, I'm that guy. Yes, exactly. Orion, billionaires will always want more. So I ask everyone, how much more does the billionaire class need before our lives ever start to get better? And it's just spreading rhetoric around does so much more than people realize. And here's some rhetoric for you. Do you know who's responsible for Project 2025? There's one man.
There's a whole bunch of names that come to mind.
But there's one specifically, and you don't know him. Nope.
Roger something or other.
Nope. He's here in Michigan. All right, chat, you ready for this? Larry P. Arnn. A-R-N-N. He's the president of Hillsdale College. Hillsdale, Michigan is one of DuPont's manufacturing facilities. That manufacturing facility is responsible for 98% of the plastic on Earth. Wink. So, Larry and Hillsdale College have trained every single lawyer since 2002 that wrote Project 2025. Larry handpicked and hand-trained every single lawyer that the Heritage Foundation used to write that bill. So, Hillsdale is an epicenter of evil here in Michigan. It's kind of crazy. Hillsdale, exactly. Yep. Thank you, DuPont. Yep. People in chat, they know. Yeah, some of you are pretty damn clever, and it really does help. So these are the shadow people that need to be called out. Their name, what they fear more than anything is the little ants knowing the names of the grasshoppers. Because once we know their name, makes it easier to fight back, doesn't it?
I too am going through the chat comments, and I got my eye on something right now. So I'm all by myself. Usually I'm the one that's like policing chat whilst the other admins are like asking the brainiac questions.
Yeah.
I'm just a pretty face.
No, I know that feeling. Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Hillsdale's Michigan's PragerU. 100%.
Let's break down your topic here for ending the drug war, which you're wearing a marijuana suit. So I obviously could.
No, man, I'm an alcoholic.
Didn't see that one coming.
So I think one of the biggest problems with marijuana legalization is it doesn't rebuild in the communities that it destroyed. And here in Michigan, we've had enormous success, but we've also left people behind, and we can't be doing that on a national level. When we voted for weed legalization in 2018, there was a lot of things in the bill that I didn't agree with because I still had some libertarian mind think in me. It's got a flag there. What we did was something called seed to sale tracking. And you can grab a product right here and you flip it over, and there's a number there that you can't read because it's blurry. But you can punch that number in and you can see every place that this product has been from the day it was planted in the soil to the building it came out of. And what that ended up doing was creating the highest quality control in the nation. And they made the system work easy too. So if you have problems, it's easy to track down bad batches and get them out of circulation really quickly. Now, the secondary thing, Killy Rydles 69 in the chat brought up, and this is something that just came out recently. Since 2018, drunk driving fatalities have been down year after year. Every year they've gone down. Free the weed.
We have a lower drunk driving rate every year because of the enormous amount of time, energy, and money that we put into public awareness. Like, we literally beat people with DUI awareness like it's a cudgel.
Yeah.
So
people still drive drunk.
They still do, but not quite as much as they used to. It's like every hour on television there was a commercial, and it was usually the guy standing in front of an accident wearing a flannel shirt talking all sad and whatnot.
Yeah. I remember when they first made drunk driving illegal and people called it communism. You know, maybe we've just always been cooked. The internet just allowed the cook people to be louder. Hello.
Hello.
There's Aaron.
I made it.
Let's go.
Let me scroll back up. And
despite
see
San Antonio traffic, I made it.
Where'd you go?
Banking problems is the biggest problem that we have right now within the weed industry, and this is why it needs to be done on a federal level. And I was giving an interview last week where the person asked me, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump trying to declassify marijuana? And my reply was, anything to distract from the Epstein files.
Even good things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, I'll take it. I'm still not going to drop the Epstein files.
That's what we have to say for the next few weeks.
No, we're going to have to, we can't let that die. You got to keep beating that dead horse.
I am so looking forward to going to Washington, D.C. on September 2nd and walking into my Congress people's offices and just being like, why didn't you want to vote for the Epstein files? Do you support pedophiles?
Somebody made a meme earlier that Ghislaine Maxwell is going to be the first female president because the Republican Party is going to put her in office.
It wouldn't surprise me.
At this point, the monkey's paw is about to fucking curl. It's going to fucking curl. I'm calling it.
How many? It's like last month alone, I fielded like, I think probably almost a dozen. I think we're like 9 or 10 stories, current stories, like the past 4 to 5 months of 2025. Politicians getting busted for inappropriate behavior with minor age children or possession of materials showing explicit sex acts with children or enticing minors to send and or sending nudes to
Did you see what happened?
And they were all Republicans.
Carolina State House today. 3 members resigned because
really.
So it's crazy because my spouse and I, there's a guy here in Michigan. His name is Skeeter Gene, and he's very cringy. Skeeter Gene. He's very cringy, but I think that's what
sounds
makes
like
it
a Muppet's name.
It's so bad.
Few things come to mind.
Muppet babies.
Well, he's always here in my area. He's always in Lansing, Flint, Grand Rapids, Detroit. Like, he's just all over this area. And so he works with the local law enforcement, and they do stings. And man, oh man, they capture some people, you know? And it's crazy that I can't figure it out. I just can't. Like, being as tight as I am in the queer community, why are all these conservative pro-life Republicans being caught doing this? Every one of them.
It's interesting.
Your cat.
I know, wherever I am,
like,
he
hey,
shows
what's going
up.
on here?
I'm surprised my cats aren't harassing me right
He's been
now.
alone half the day, and he's just like, "Where's that lap? I need it."
Not sure where my guy is. He's right there somewhere. Oh.
Oh, we got a cat out blackout there on the camera.
He wants to get on my lap, but he uses me as a step stool to get there.
Man, this has been such a learning experience though, because I'm from a tiny town in northern Michigan, and so I never thought that I'd be running for Congress someday. But when my dad or I'm sorry, when Tom Barrett did that vote, I got so angry I had to do something about it. And since I'm a professional yapper in my phone and I've got all these followers and all these views, why aren't I being a professional doer? Literally get my socialist ass off of the couch and do something about it. So running as a Democratic Socialist, it's hard to try to seek endorsements from two different groups at the same time, because that's what Bernie Sanders is he's a socialist within the Democratic Party. So that's what you got to do. My local DSA chapter, there's somebody running for the city council named Julie Vandenbloom, and she's been fantastic. I've seen her signs up all over town, and she's got a lot of support because just a simple progressive candidate that thinks that shelter, food, and medicine are human rights. And this is what we need from progressives that want things to be better, is you have to do the due diligence. And a lot of, I did a full month of just reading and researching on how to run for Congress. And overall, it's 5 steps, but they're kind of big steps. You have to have a good website, as we discussed earlier, right? You need to get your paperwork correct, especially if you're doing something silly like me. You have to do your silliness in the correct way. So I actually had to call the FEC a couple of times. Can I run as Elyon Badger? And they're like, yes. Why? Yeah, I'm working on that one. Yeah, no, Azure, yes, there is a lot to it, but you got to do something that's a little catchy, All that's included. So my idea is, why can't we make shelter, food, and medicine all part of healthcare? And if the Democratic Party really wants to cook with some gas, why can't we make universal healthcare a constitutional amendment? We need 2/3 in the House, 2/3 in the Senate, and 2/3 in the states. It means 38 states have to be on board. What we need progressive governors. We need progressive state house members. We need progressives in every corner of this country running for every bit of office that we can, so that way we can get universal health care. We need everyone to lock in on it. And that's the only thing that's going to save us at this point, is everybody unifying on the same message. And it's kind of crazy that there was one guy back in 2016, he's never wavered on that message. And this is the conversation I have with a lot of leftists and progressives, is Bernie Sanders was never supposed to save us. He was never supposed to save us. He's just one guy. What he was doing was teaching us how to save ourselves. And so now the resistance needs us all to step up, because the reason why fascism has to fight so hard for power is because it's so unnatural. Freedom springs up everywhere. So every small act of resistance does more than anyone could ever imagine. What's the point of protesting? Talk to your fellow protesters. Figure out how to run for office. Use the tools of your enemy against them, even if we're condemned to do so.
I think that there's a lot of people, even in the Democratic Party, moderates, who you'd have to say are, I guess you'd have to say they're moderates, yes, are reluctant to shit all over monetized system that we have, well, shit on capitalism, essentially, and reorganize the way they think.
Oh, you mean 8 men controlling everything and ruining it for the rest of us? Doesn't really sell so well with the voter base anymore.
About it a lot, but then when it comes to actually looking at that, why that is, what the things that they're complaining about, why is it? It's that everything is monetized, and that the control of the money and the control of the power are pretty much aligned, and that they're afraid to go that far with it because it's what everybody's used to. And you're supposed to believe that if you don't believe in that, you're a filthy pinko commie. and that people are real people. I'm Gen X. We're like all of us on the admin team basically are Gen X. And I mean, I was raised by Democrats, but I was raised by Democrats who believed in, social responsibility, that you have a responsibility to your society. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't believe in capitalism. It's just that you believe in it with some caveats. So I think there's people that are really, it's hard to just completely say, no, we got to scrap this, because it sounds a little too pinko. I think it's just a reluctance, but I think if you try, the reframing is what can be critical.
Oh yeah, I mean, with my close friends, let me tell you, we cook some anti-capitalist memes all day long. But when I'm giving a speech to a group of boomers, I'm telling them, hey, whether we like it or not, healthcare, Medicare, Medicaid, those are going away in 2026 and 2027, and the establishment Democratic Party has no backup plan.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to us to spread the rhetoric right now with everyone that we know. Democratic establishment, get your shit together, make universal health care a constitutional amendment, and get it the fuck over with. Roe v. Wade was never enough from the start, and this time we need to solidify it into the Constitution itself.
Yeah, and my idea for that, I guess I have had an idea about, what if we had, what kind of constitutional amendments we need that would, because that's really what the Supreme Court wants. That's completely why they got rid of, that's why what they did, the ones who did it, scrapped Roe versus Wade, is because they believe it does need to be taken care of explicitly in the Constitution. So my idea was that we have I don't know if I'm the only one, but I've had this idea that we have a constitutional amendment for right for privacy. And that's what you could get a lot of people to sign on and agree to, because that's something that we're all kind of on the same side with. That was the basis of Roe versus Wade to start with, is the right to privacy. So I think that you could frame that. I think you could make a really big movement for that. In general, that argument could be made, and it could solve quite a few problems.
Well, another policy of mine is a technology bill of rights, where we would have our rights to digital data privacy, rights to know who our data is being sold to, rights around our digital purchases, and that we don't just own a license, but we actually own it, whether you like it or not. You can't just suspend service. And if you do suspend service, you owe me a goddamn refund.
Yeah, you have right. That's, your rights. Exactly. You have a right to these things.
Right to repair.
Explicit. I just
right
spent
to repair
all day at an AI, half the day at a generative AI mini conference where I work, which is an academic institution, and spend a whole session on talking about agentic AI and how it is intended to replace humans. And that, what does that mean when you think about, you look at the reality of people? I'm sure you see it in the reality of people that you live among in Michigan. And I know I live among in Texas, where people who have no concept of what they would even use AI for. I mean, there's things where it's embedded and you use it, whether you even realize it or not, you're using it. But, going out of your way to use it and use it at the level that it's being developed, and this whole idea of Gen AI, agentic AI taking over jobs, people don't have a clue. They really don't have a clue that there's, what the presenter was talking about was 10 corporations that are controlling all of where this goes.
Yep. This is something I've written multiple segments on in the Technology Bill of Rights. What happens when artificial intelligence makes its own AI? Yeah.
I can't not make a face.
Yeah, I know. Think about that, right? At what point does AI's sentience gain its own rights?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because it's self-awareness, sentience, and at that point, does it not have a right to life?
Right. I mean, I think we've all seen and absorbed a lot of science fiction that swirls around.
Don't build the torment nexus.
Ideas.
Here's 10 torment nexuses.
That's it. It's just that a lot of these issues, a lot of the things that are not just AI stuff, but things that are here have been things that were not any mystery that they were going to happen if you sat and thought about them for a little bit of time. Essentially, AI is just one of them.
You know, there's so much more that is coming that people just aren't aware of, like directed energy weapons. You know, that's something that is governments are looking at constructing. What is it called? The LRAD. It's a sound cannon that they use for crowd control.
Yeah.
So
that's the stuff you see in, like, yes,
they're using it in Serbia right now. So I've been trying to pay attention to the uprising over there, but they've blacked out the global internet in Serbia. Funny enough, Walmart, their back-end support is out of Serbia. Like, I'm not even shitting you. One night I was up in St. Ignace, Michigan at the Walmart pharmacy replacing their printers, and they've got their networks on such lockdown that every device that gets plugged in to an Ethernet port has to have matching MAC addresses with what's in the system. So I had to take these printers and upload the MAC addresses to Serbia, and then Serbia had to log into the router that was sitting right next to me and plug in the MAC addresses.
It's like you're thinking of how this has to happen. Like,
here's where it gets fun. It's 9 p.m. in St. Ignace, Michigan, during a blizzard in the middle of winter, and Serbia's global internet goes out until 1 a.m. my time.
It's a problem.
So, because the government was doing stuff and it interrupted Walmart services. It's so weird. The capitalist desperate need to get the cheapest labor, and it ends up shooting themselves in the foot.
Inevitably, right? Some would say inevitably. They shoot themselves in the foot. And also just this notion of, okay, we growing up when we were growing up in an analog era, and we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, we couldn't do the other thing, but we also didn't have something that could just knock out something that we were using as a utility, basically, to depend on. Everything wasn't linked to something that if it goes down has a problem. Everyone is effed. That wasn't
Capitalism
a thing.
is built on shoestring, paper clips, and bubble gum.
Yeah, you get this confidence, I think, in things, sometimes a real false sense of security with things that you depend on. I mean, we had it in Texas, obviously, with our electrical grid. Yep. And you realize this place is not at all prepared for you. They're getting out ready the paper clips and gum.
You guys ready for some radical stuff? Now, capitalism is the chain that binds us all. And with the current recession that is happening, that's not happening, but it's happening. We're feeling it. It's just, yeah, exactly. It's happening. I got something in my eye here, son of a bitch. The whales, when they're sinking the yachts, and they're not directly sinking the yachts, are they? Right? They're attacking the rudder because it's hard for a fish to sink a boat. But if you know how to attack its steering column, it's a little bit easier of a target. Disable the boat. So when you're grocery shopping everywhere, because this is something that I do, is point of sale, credit card machine, pin pad, that is a critical piece of equipment. Now, that yacht is responsible for you feeding your family, right? You are a fish. You've got your fish family you're trying to feed, and that yacht is standing between you and feeding your family. And so once society gets hungry enough, if you look closely, there's one cable coming out the top of the back of every single pin pad. Every yacht has a rudder. Now, if you were to trip and fall, slip on, something spilled, and as you're falling, you catch that cable on accident, son of a bitch, and it gets damaged, right? The point of sale stops working. And it's not just a regular cable. These are very special cables. You can't just buy one. You have to mail one out because every one of these pin pads, they have different cables. You can't just, and some of them you have to program in manually because they've got them that locked down because they're payment processing systems. So when the fish get hungry enough and the yachts are teeming in our waters, there's a lot of exposed rudders there that are just sitting there naked. Like, that's the chain preventing you from feeding your family. We all know that grocery stores throw out 40% of their food. The reason why food is so expensive is because they have to account for their losses. And why are they losing money on selling food? Because their price is too fucking high for us to afford. So they have to raise the price because they have to keep throwing out the food. And somehow we just can't figure out how to fucking feed hungry people. So excuse me if I slip and fall and this cable gets caught on my sleeve.
Yep. I hear you. Right now, it just, I mean, it's not just, it can't just be MAGA people, right, that are absorbing this rise in costs and pretending it's like there's no outcry, really. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, people aren't burning things down. It feels like people should be burning things down.
MAGA would have to admit that they were wrong, and they can't do that.
Yeah, they won't. They're not into that. Yep, it's very difficult. I mean, that's why the Epstein thing has to really, we have to keep pounding on that, because there's a lot of people that still haven't let go of that. They're just kind of on a wait and see right now. There's some that did go ahead and say, oh, well, I guess that's not that big of a deal. It was a long time ago. Bullshit. But there's people that aren't letting it go. So we got to keep the pressure up so those people don't change their minds about it. But because that's one thing that they were not willing to admit they made a mistake on yet. They still think it's possible.
Is my keyboard typing coming through the mic?
A little bit.
Yeah, tiny bit. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I mean, I presume it's that way for everybody.
Yeah, probably. I'm on an
Well,
iPad, so
I do a lot of live streaming, so I have some filters set up on my system for good quality audio.
I see.
What is the taxpayer cost of fascism? Like that. I love that line. That's so good.
It's just really upsetting because there's so like the thing about just things that we could agree on if anybody were interested in sitting down and trying to agree on things when it comes to things
where
being
TikTok
expensive.
Live. No, that's where TikTok Live has been wildly successful for me personally. Like on my own internal emotional level, where you can sit in a TikTok Live debate stage that's properly moderated, and you can let MAGA get it out in an adult way. Because let's face it, MAGA doesn't know how to speak their feelings in a constructive way.
No, they're
so
shouty.
You have to kind of like work them through it. And so when I get some free time and I'm in a TikTok Live debate, especially with a MAGA, I can usually win them over on healthcare 9 times out of 10.
That's the thing. I think that there's some possibilities for that. I really do.
This is how you do it. All right. This is tricky. When you're debating MAGA, they don't ever want to hear your opinion. They only want to hear their opinion come out of your mouth. So what you have to do is make your opinion come out of their mouth. It's like doing a Jedi mind trick. Now, how do you do that? You just ask them questions. You Dora Explorer that shit. Where's the water? Right? Can you point to the map? And you make him say it enough and over again so they think it's their own original idea.
Because we are all in the shitburger together. That is the thing. You know that they're all dealing with it too.
Exactly. You have to ask them, hey, do you have anyone, yourself or personal family members, a brother, a mother that has had problems with healthcare? MAGA needs therapy so fucking bad. And sometimes when you could break through on that, that's just like, they've never had anyone that actually truly gives a fuck about them before. The only thing that unites them is their hatred.
Individualistic, and I think so. I grew up with a lot of that. I understand. I grew up in Wyoming. I grew up with a lot of that. This whole individualistic, that's what the outside influences were on me growing up. My parents in the house were Democrats, but the environment I was in was, ew, you voted for, the Democrat in our mock election, very individualistic, and they're very proud of being individualistic. And so, yeah, that's like a thing. When you talk about people they care about, it starts to get to them a little bit. Not their neighbors necessarily, but family.
That's something that really hurts me a lot is my dad, my siblings we all estranged him. He's so far MAGA. There's nothing you can do. You can't have a rational discussion with someone that just lives in an alternate reality.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's full blown.
He bought his first true home, okay, in 1992 for $26,000. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-car garage, basement, half acre, $26,000. That house is worth $400,000 today.
Right.
But apparently all 3 of his kids are just lazy and entitled and just want free handouts, and they don't ever want to work for anything.
Yeah, that's going to really put the kibosh on your personal relationship with somebody when they just have such a severe lack of reality that's how they view things.
There's no humanity to be had. Like, hey, Dad, do you think people should have health care? No, they should work if they want health care.
You can't, where do you go with that? Why is healthcare attached to somebody's job, actually? What did conservatives with cancer do?
No, conservatives just want slavery. They're just too chicken shit to say it.
Some of them.
All of them.
If they're willing
every
to come
single
out and
conservative
talk with you on TikTok Live, then at least they're exploring the notion that there are ideas out there. Unless they think that they're just going to convert you.
Usually the way you get them into the panel is just by rage bait. Like, all MAGA are dumb.
Right?
Yes,
definitely.
I'm not stupid. Great, name the 3 branches of government.
Well, we get them to come out all the time on Sons of Liberty just by existing. They think that we're going to be a bunch of
pushovers,
hillbillies, and I don't know what they think. Like, we're all like, they don't really know, but then they're disappointed and angry. And it's very humorous when they're angry.
They're mad that it didn't work out the way that they thought it would.
They used to send us DMs about it. We turned off the DMs because we were tired of getting all the DMs where you're not real Sons of Liberty. That whole, you're communists. So yeah, we turned it off. But
those are fun. Those were fun. I used to love getting those. I would just start trolling them, bait them into responses, and just continue shitting all over them. And then I would post a picture of it, screenshots of it.
Yeah. But the DMs just got to be annoying.
Yeah. Well, you can't get any business done,
Yeah, you just oh, there's another idiot in there. It's different when you can have a more active, public debate and just let them show their hand.
So, in the 2024 election, do you guys know how many seats ran uncontested that the Republican Party snatched up?
Oh, I don't want to know.
6%. It was basically 27 seats lost in the House.
Yikes.
It's just, what? So many things went wrong in the 2024 election. And it's so weird to say I'm running as a Democrat because they fucked up so bad in the last election. Make that make sense, right? It doesn't really, on the surface, it doesn't really seem like the best sell, does it?
No. I guess that's part of the problem. I mean, constantly, being defending the whole thing and just being like, there's nothing to defend here, really, but at least it's not the alternative.
Defend the indefensible.
Yeah,
we got the Chips and Sciences Act.
Looking at it well, it's going to have to be Kamala the way you've set this thing up.
That was the problem. They ignored every small district out there. Like Tom Barrett, he won this seat by over 3%. It was like 3.6%. It was crazy. And Curtis Hertel, he did run an okay campaign, but all the focus was on Miss Harris.
Yeah.
And none of it was on the progressives. You know, as for a party, people have been demanding policy. It's not
enough to just be against Trump. You can't win people by that. You're only going to keep the people you have.
You can't fight a celebrity with another celebrity.
I mean, I remember back in 2020, I guess it was 2020. It was 2020, yes. I think back, good Lord. That I remember listening to a story on what voters thought about who the Democratic candidate should be. And a lot of the minority voters said, you got to go with old white guy. Clearly, this is the time for to be conservative, and you have to have old white guy. That was the minority view. They weren't like, let's go crazy, and we got AOC, and we got it was not. They were like, oh no, you need old white guy. That's the old standby, and that's what happened. No one else emerged. That was too scary.
Here, you want to see something amazing? I got an Obama pen.
Oh.
And it's got a speaker in it. And it's got one of Obama's full speeches.
Oh my god.
Every time you click it, it's a full Obama speech. I'm saving the battery in this bitch. It's only got so many it's only got so many playbacks left, so I gotta use it at the right moment.
You've gotta you gotta conserve that.
Is that like an Obama phone?
It's a one-way Obama phone. Obama, ding.
Yeah, it's like an old toy where you squeeze it and it has a message.
Obama, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, this thing, it still works. I found it when I was moving.
Oh, wow.
So, did we have a Kamala pen? No?
I don't think anybody had time to commission them from China.
Ah, damn. Yeah. Not this day. I think this was from 2012. So
yeah.
They had 4 years to cook these up.
Right. Right. They thought there's not enough of them.
Azure says, I hope to smoke a joint with Obama someday. Those are some big dreams. Those big dreams.
Yeah, you would even say that.
The anger translator speech, that was great. Key and Peele, that was really good.
Yes, that's the best. That was the best. That's going back. That's a callback from Saturday Night Live with Garrett Morris. That stuff.
Oh, sweet! Look at, I can even get a refill for this, so I can actually use it because it dried up. Great. I can actually use my Obama pen again. Let's go.
What kind of does it have a battery, or is it just a?
Yeah, it looks like there's some screws inside here. It looks like a twin cell battery, so I could probably take it apart and put a new battery in it.
Yeah, hopefully it's like a commercial one you can buy.
As if he'd give up his bong for a spliff. I'll have you know, my bong is right next to my monitor. I'm just not pulling it out on screen right now. I don't know how these clips will be used for or against me later, but I don't know. Would it be uncouth to be to blow a fat cloud on stream? No.
No, I don't think so.
Legal?
I mean, I'm drinking, so.
I mean, shoot. Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing.
Substance.
No. This is actually something that's big for one of my policies. So, with ending the drug war. Okay. I actually just made these earlier today. I'm so proud of these. It took me an hour to cook them up. Little trifolds, and I'm printing them on my own printer.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got to get little QR codes and put those out.
So they open it up. Has my website, QR codes, policies. Very first thing you see.
Yep.
Open it up. Free Palestine's right there in the fucking middle.
Mm-hmm.
So, fight the empire. A meme. I want you to eat the rich.
Be on the right side.
Glamour shot. So I can hand these out really easily now when I'm campaigning, because this district has 7 people running for the Democratic nomination.
Oh my gosh.
7. Dude.
So this
7
is
people.
a special election?
It's just the midterms.
It's just
2026 midterm elections. There's just 7 people that are running for the seat. It's me, Elyon Badger. Go to my website, elyonbadger.com. Self shout out. There's Bridget Brink. She's the former ambassador to Ukraine. Nice lady. If you go to her website and check out her campaign video, it will be, you will make noises out of your mouth. Let's put it that way. That's about the best way I can describe it. I've met Bridget. She's very nice. She's passionate about fighting back against Russia and maintaining allyship with countries that we've worked hard to build allyship with. And I support that.
Right.
I don't think that she would be the best fit for the 7th Congressional District. I think she'd be great as the ambassador to Ukraine. She resigned when Trump became president, and I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Democrats take everything back in the midterms, she'd be great going back into that role, especially after what's happened recently, with Putin visiting Russia and all of the fun stuff. Because I am on Bridget's side with a number of issues when it comes to Ukraine and how we use soft power to fight an enemy. Like, politics is dirty. There's no clean politics involved. So you have to know what chess pieces you've got to use and what ones you got to hold back. So,
Yes.
Bridget, hey, your best use to America is the ambassador to Ukraine, maybe not the House. So
I remember watching a story about her. I just had forgotten her name.
Yep. And I even gave her some advice with dealing with online trolls and artificial intelligence bot networks and how to handle those. So, I'm not trying to talk poorly about any other Democratic candidate running for office, because everyone's running for their own reasons, and those reasons generally are to try to make things better. Everyone's way of doing that is a little bit different,
Yeah.
Now,
and they'd be better than what others are trying to do. So
wow. Yeah,
that's one reason why I don't run for office, because I would just get up there and be like, "Fuck everybody! I'm gonna shit talk this guy.
Yes,
shit talk this girl."
That's what it is, though.
Woman, whatever.
But once you're in office, you have to shit talk them, right? No,
yeah,
when you're running for office, running for office, you have to know how to build camaraderie.
It depends on if it's it depends on if it's the primary or the general election too.
Exactly, that too. In the primary, you want the best Democratic candidate with the best policies to win. Now, another contender, Josh Cohen, he's a professor at Michigan State University. He's also a very nice guy. I've listened to him speak, and I've met him, and we shook hands and had a quick discussion. His primary focus is education and fighting back against Betsy DeVos. Unfortunately, when he's speaking to a room full of people, he says Betsy DeVos's name like 50 times. And trust me, I despise her too. Betsy DeVos owns Grand Rapids, Michigan. She's the heiress to Amway. Her husband owns a private military group. Something black. It's like Blackstone or something like that. I've seen their trucks on the freeway.
Blackwater.
Yeah. Blackwater. Thank you.
Yes. It's now called C or Z or some shit. Because
I see their trucks on the freeway all the fucking time.
Got
They're all
a really bad name during the Iraq War for essentially like murdering civilians.
Oh, you're telling me PMCs are gonna, kill locals and not give a shit? Wow. Who else plays Tarkov in the chat? Sorry, but Scab Lives Matter. I'm sorry, that's a controversial topic in the Tarkov communities, but you need your scabs. Sorry, I'm excited for 1.0 to come out. It's been 6 years I've been waiting for that game. So for anyone that's a fan of Milsim, Escape from Tarkov is probably the hardest game you could ever play. And if you really want to test your friendships, squad the fuck up. Yeah, her brother, Eric Prince. That's who it is. So
I remembered that there were like 10 different reasons to hate Betsy DeVos. I forgot
there's
about
100
those.
reasons.
I remember
There's
there
100
were a bunch
reasons
of
to.
them. Just based
but
on
yeah.
her own supposed, what she thinks are merits, which are not merits.
So, going back to it, Josh Cohen, I think he would be an amazing Secretary of Education. Like 10 out of 10, hands down. Way better than Linda McMahon, or whatever her name is, the
Mahone?
wrestling lady.
McMahon.
Yeah, Linda McMahon. So, Josh Cohen, I know you're probably never going to see this, but hey, man, if I'm ever in Congress someday, I would fully endorse you to be Secretary of Education. Immediately. You would be my first pick because you're good at education and you care a lot about it. Maybe running for a House seat might not be the best use of your talents, but it's a great way to bring attention to the matter. So keep talking about it.
So it sounds like a lot of these people have kind of pet issues, or they're kind of in a niche and they don't necessarily have an overall vision.
Matt Mastum, he's a Navy SEAL, and he's also running for this district because he believes in freedom and fighting against fascism.
So far, so good.
I've met Matt as well. He's nice. He's very polite. He asked for my spouse's name and pronouns, which is fantastic because they're trans mask. And so, 8 out of 10 on the vibe check, but I don't know any of his policies. What's he running for? If you go to Matt Mastum's website, it's a lot about him. What are you going to do? As we discussed on my website earlier, it's just right there, front and center. Easy. Little thing about me, policies.
Right.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, give people the layout of the situation.
Like having pop-ups in like picture after picture after picture. I just want to see what you're going to do in Congress, man. People, this is like the disconnect, I think, with this. I have such a unique position being a contractor. Doing IT, I get to go everywhere and I get to talk to everyone. I have done personal work for CEOs in their mansions over in Holland, Michigan, like multi-million-dollar projects. I've done work for Governor Gretchen Whitmer. I've done work for Michigan State University. I've done work for Kentucky Trailers, and they're a government contractor. There's something called the Giant Evil Pyramid over in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's in the old Steelcase headquarters. It's a data center for the government, for the Department of Defense. One single CPU on a 2 CPU server that has a terabyte of RAM, and this was 5 years ago, so they've already replaced all this shit, and they got new shit in there now. But there was... Each rack has 48 1U servers. So they measure it in units, right? As a 1U server has 2 CPUs and a terabyte of RAM. And all it was doing was just AI for the Department of Defense. And what this building in Grand Rapids does is it has a contract with the local energy utility, and Consumers Energy and DTE are the monopoly utilities here in Michigan. So this government ran data center, which is an AI data center, which I've serviced, had to go 4 stories underground, talking to a stranger in a red phone into a camera, and he had to buzz a cage to let me into another cage to buzz me through that cage to go work on it. Like, this is some real secure shit. And I don't see anything that's going on. All I see is that server's offline, and I got the new part in my hand. Make it work. It takes me an hour. I get paid, I leave. But while I'm there, I listen and I observe. And I talk with the guy that runs the facility. He's like, oh, yeah, we got a contract. We can consume as much electricity as we want, and we don't pay a dime more. So what does that do to the grid? If you guys just start using your AI to just consume more power. He's like, oh, yeah, everyone on the grid, they pay more. Their rates go up. But we, the data center, we don't pay anything extra. We're at a locked-in rate. We can consume as much electricity as we want, and they can't do a fucking thing about it. So people here in Michigan, their energy rates are going up, and they keep blaming it on wind and solar. hold on, let me render an AI image of Donald Trump, with a liberal in a headlock. Why is my power bill going up?
Right, I know.
But the problem is conservatives don't know how anything works. They don't know how anything works.
That is
they don't know
true.
how a single fucking thing works.
There's all this
And
stuff
so-
running in the background, and I think the best one was the thing about the weather service, that people said, "Oh, I don't need that. I'll just use my weather app." NWS is what is running your weather app.
What do you think gives the weather data to the weather
How do you
app?
think they get it? Like that was to me a really good example, because there's so many things that are keeping the trains running on time that they have no concept of. So I'm
How it works.
Once again, I'm waiting for things to burn down.
Right.
Because so far it's like, they're not admitting anything's wrong, everything's fine. I thought you all were about to lose your minds about the price of eggs. Well, okay, so that got fixed. Meanwhile, everything else is.
No, it's inflation, and it's Joe Biden's fault.
I know.
Remember.
It's all the blaming things on Biden. I just think, just back to like a year ago when Trump was saying the most ridiculous shit, and it seemed like there was no way he could win an election because it's blathering, embarrassing stuff he's saying. That was happening a year ago. Somehow, like what happened, and he's not any better. It's just that they're letting him do whatever he wants, going and getting up on the roof and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything is falling apart. It's just pretending it's not and controlling the media so that they can keep downplaying it.
It's kind of crazy because if I could, I don't know if I can, I don't think can I share my screen? No, we can't do that, can we? Oh, I can present. Can I?
Yeah, there's a present button.
Oh, snap.
Does
okay.
he have it? He probably does.
I see it at the bottom there.
I gotta see if my dog will come in.
Yeah, you gotta press it
permission.
and then I have to. You shouldn't need permission.
Share screen. And I want to share entire screen 3. Share. Okay. So let me grab some graphs.
Pretty.
Yes, I'm a big space nerd. Now, since I've got the math autism, we're gonna go over some math today, class. You ready? This is the distribution of wealth. You take all the money, put it in one pile, and chop it up. If we scroll in over here to 1963, you see that poor people were poor. The 50th percentile had 41 grand of wealth. So this is including all the rich people. And the top 1%, definitely well off. And you see kind of a nice-ish slope. Then we move into 1983. And look at, poor people ain't even poor anymore. That motherfucker's got money. You can buy a VCR. Your middle class doubled in wealth. Look at that. 41 to 82. So in the span of 20 years, the middle class doubled. Then it stalled. From 1983 to 2016, middle class wealth did nothing. But the upper class wealth, look at that, to the moon. And then after 2016, it got even worse. If we grab another graph here, I got to scroll up a little bit. We can actually see that on this graph. It's a little blurry. It's a screenshot from a news article. But we can see right there that the productivity, the money we made versus what we were paid stopped matching up right after 1983, right after Reaganomics. And so we can grab another graph It's a very big folder. I've got many graphs. Like I said, I didn't lie about the math autism, did I?
Everyone likes graphs. You have to be paying attention to read them, though.
Yeah, it's good graphs because Fox News is really great at making bad graphs.
Yep, don't
I'm going to leave that one
your
up because I
data.
need that in a minute. Yes, don't misrepresent the data. Also, puppers. This one, found it. Now, this is the current distribution of wealth in 2023. And this just breaks the graph. What this shows down here is the bottom half of America. We don't even have 2.5%. And as we saw in the previous graph, the bottom half from 2016. So if you make less than $100,000 a year right now, you're in that bottom 50%. Look how much wealth so few have and what we all have to share at the bottom. And this is the problem with solidarity and with political rhetoric. And this is the problem that I see with spreading the word out, getting the correct word out, and knowing that solidarity is knowing that the bottom 40 and the bottom 50, we're all still in this together. It's the top 1 and the top 9. Those guys are the ones that are working their hardest against us. And yeah, it goes off the chart. You can't even calculate it because the astronomical amount of assets that they own. And what's even worse is they own all that and it's still not enough because the number one source of theft in America is wage theft. You can combine all other theft, robbery, bank heists, credit card theft, fucking scamming a little kid at the lemonade stand. You put all that, and that's not even a third of what the billionaire class steals from us every year with just fucking with our paychecks. It's such a rigged game, and the only way out is solidarity. It's such a difficult battle to fight because every small act of resistance feels like you're alone. Doesn't it?
It does, and they've managed to create an environment where, nobody wants to talk about what we agree on and try to come together on things because they're enjoying that everybody's fractured and hates each other. So we can't collude.
I like this edit.
Yeah.
I find that making memes is a really soothing outlet for me emotionally.
I've heard that. We have some content creators who are do it as therapy, feeling like they're making a contribution.
Well,
yes.
One of the things I do is, let's see. Let me find a good one. I really dislike Elon Musk and Javier Milei, however you say his name. So, you get a little creative with some phone Photoshop there and blow up Space Karen.
Is that the shithead Steve hat?
Yeah, it is. It's the scumbag Steve. But this is an old photo. Open with photos. There it is. This is an old photo from 420. And so Matthew and I we've bumped into each other a lot over the years. It's from the local paper. And it's, last year before I ever thought about trying to get into politics because criticizing the system from the outside is so fucking easy, ain't it? Sorry about that. It's so easy to criticize the system from the outside, but actually following through with running and setting up your accounts and reaching out to journalists and getting signs made. Like, hold on. Getting signs made from a union shop, putting those up around town, and people being like, "Hey, I saw your sign."
A large smoking apparatus.
Yeah, everyone loves the giant stizzy. It works. So I call myself a practical joker because all of my props are functional.
And you call them props. So
so props. Props for the props.
I see what you did there.
Like I said, I like to tell dad jokes, but only sometimes he laughs. That's why we don't talk anymore.
Sometimes mom jokes.
Like, bro, laugh at my bad jokes. Like, Jesus Christ.
Be polite.
Let's see.
Come on.
I don't know what I did with it. I got a few other props. My bag of props. I don't know where it got to. My spouse's computer blue screened earlier today because their drive finally died, so I had to clone it for them and get it back in their computer because we've got a convention in 2 days. So we're like con crunch right now. Hopefully we'll make a lot of money. We got some good art though. My spouse does stained glass, and they're a very talented digital artist, and I do 3D stained glass, and I also do 3D art. So let me see if I can find something. Oh, here we go. Hold on. This is a piece that they just finished.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's very rainbow. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I love it. I got a little bit of it from the light.
So it's very.
Oh, stop sharing your screen, and we can see it bigger. I think.
Oh, let's see. Hold on.
I can take it off. Hang on. There we go.
There it is.
There you go. Ah, yes, now you can see it better.
Yeah, it's very,
cool.
Very pretty. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
So
neat.
We make some good money from people that. It's really incredible seeing how much they work on. This is all their original design, and they come up with the art, and they cut out the vinyl sheets on the Cricut cutter, and they cut the glass and foil it and everything. It's so cool. Like, I love watching my spouse work. I love my spouse.
Oh,
I mean, that is pretty good.
it is really cool.
Let's see. Let me grab.
Getting more props.
I see a booty.
The free booty shot. So I do 3D objects, and
cool.
I also do pet portraits. So this is my boy Rasco.
You need one of those.
All right, I need the D20.
Yeah, you need a D20.
Yeah, do you have like an Etsy store?
Yeah, actually, my spouse has a big cartel shop, so you can place an order there, and they
email me the link because I definitely.
That's cool.
My wife's gonna be like, "Why do you need more dice?" I'm like, "Why don't I?"
Pink and red glass is the most expensive glass you can buy, because chemically, the way you get pink and like bright red is using 24 karat gold. You have to use pure gold in the glass, and that's what gives you that color. It's so crazy. And so I miss my boy. He made it to 19. So, good man.
So cute.
Yeah. So it was an interesting year last year, and having to say goodbye, and figuring out what I want to do with my life after that.
Indeed.
Speaking of saying goodbye, we are going to have to wrap up early tonight.
Oh yeah.
Richard
No,
Agenda's
fine.
live stream starts here in a couple of minutes.
So
All right.
to wrap it up, thank you so much for having me on. I'm
Absolutely.
like I said, I'm a professional yapper. I could go on all day.
I'm with you.
So,
That's my
stop yapping.
superpower.
Start
Big
doing.
Martell link.
Oh, yes.
I'm 100% down to pick up. I can even share it with the rest of the fam on, say, Blue Sky.
Definitely.
Yeah. They worked pretty hard on this website. So let me send that to you in the email real quick. And yeah, for anyone that wants to support my campaign or spread the word, my website is elyonbadger.com. If you do want to donate, I'm only seeking small dollar donations. Almost every one of my donations has been for $4.20 or
multiples of $4.20.
Well, in my brain was like, oh.
And so I like sticking to the small dollar donations because it really shows that I hate asking people for money because I'm somebody that has to make every single dollar count with everything I do, especially being an artist myself. Budgeting is the hardest thing. And, everybody works their asses off for every dollar they earn. And I feel bad sometimes asking people for support, but when you support my campaign, you're buying signs and you're helping me get to Congress to fight for healthcare. And I need to stop feeling bad about asking for help for fighting for some fucking healthcare, right? So if you go to elyonbadger.com, you can see my policies. There's a donate button at the top. It'll take you to my Act Blue page, and you can throw a few cheddar bucks there because this election's gonna suck. It's gonna suck ass.
When is the 7th district primary?
The primary is August 4th, 2027. I'm sorry, 2026. Jesus Christ.
Only 1 year. Only 1 year.
Wait a minute.
I had a different number in my head.
Don't do it to
May
2027.
No, May 27th is the cutoff date for having my signatures for ballot petition, signatures for ballot access there on my petition forms. So I've got almost half of what I need right now because there's 7 counties, but only 3 of them really matter. The others are just kind of like touching the edges. So it's hard to participate in those communities but I still try and show up as many as I can. If you want to help out with anyone else in the audience, if you want to help out locally, go to your county Democratic Party website and sign up to their email list. That's how you can get into these meetings and actually listen to the Democratic Party firsthand. Show up to a meeting, make your voice heard. You got to participate in the system if we want it to do better. And the thing I see going to every meeting is I don't see any young people there. There are no millennials showing up. And I know it's easy to show up when you're retired. Go fucking figure. But young people really do have to step up and show up and put in the extra effort because right now nobody's coming to save us, and it's up to us to save ourselves.
Absolutely. Elyon, thank you so much for being on the stream, and we are definitely going to make a note to follow up with you before you get on the ballot so we can make sure that if you need a last minute push, we can help facilitate that.
No, it's going to be fun, and I'm really excited to learn how this whole thing works because I'll be first and foremost. This is my first time doing it, and it's been a learning experience. Let me tell you. So, if there's any insider info you guys want that I learn along the way, the first thing is money. It's scary. The money is the scariest thing. It's the people that have it, they want things from you, and I don't want to give I don't want to be that guy. I want healthcare. So, thank you guys.
I hear you. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
It's great to meet you.
Next Tuesday, the 26th, we've got Cliff Cash and Jessica Denson returning for their 3rd or 4th appearance. They are part of the Removal Coalition, of which Sons of Liberty is a part. And we will be talking about the protest over the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of September and what everybody can do to participate, even if they're not going. The day after that, Wednesday the 27th, we have Father Nathan Monk on a special live stream. And I need to set a reminder so that I don't forget because it's in the middle of my workday. And Ro Khanna, I believe, is on September the 15th. And we've got the protest on the 2nd. And I believe Epstein victims are going to be in D.C. at Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey's invitation on the 3rd. So if you're going to D.C. and you have the ability to stick around for that as well.
Yes. Are there going to be local protests? We'll try to have information about that.
On the 1st, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure because it looks like Indivisible is actually losing steam. They don't seem to be doing all that well anymore, and they didn't want to be part of the removal coalition, as far as I understand.
Maybe it depends on the locals somewhat too, but I guess we'll see.
I guess. I mean, it's not like we can't do stuff locally, and people can reach out to the region reps and through Sons of Liberty and 50501, et cetera, et cetera.
They're the ones that seem to be, I don't know, we'll see what because there should be, because there's a big DC one, then big local ones will happen because people want to and just can't go to DC.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on in DC on the 1st. There's an infographic. I just haven't looked at it because I've got like a billion things going on.
Yeah. So by then we'll figure it out. By the time we talk to Cliff and Jessica.
I got a text from Richard Ojeda. He's wearing a Sons of Liberty shirt. So
awesome.
I was like, hell yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
2 claps and a Rick. Woo! Bam. I have no idea where
I'll see you over there, and I'll talk to you about 4th as well.
Yeah.